Time now for the business day. Both business and consumer confidence fell during the first quarter of the year. This was revealed by CEO of Market Research Services Don Anderson today as he announced the findings of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce Business and Consumer Confidence Survey. Andrew Laidley reports.
The survey shows that most businesses believe recovery from the pandemic will be further off than expected. On the consumer side, there are increased concerns about job availability. But while both indices fell, CEO of Market Research Services Don Anderson noted that there's a widening gap between business and consumer confidence.
I think probably something we need to put in the mix too, you see, and it may very well serve to dampen some of the enthusiasm which has come out of the bad news. But we have to remember that the fourth quarter was December, Christmas, right? And what's interesting to note is that businesses were reporting an uptick, consumers were not. And therefore, we need to reflect on those two things. Was there any kind of trickle down from businesses to consumer? It does not appear to have been. But it's interesting to note that businesses felt optimistic about the last quarter. Consumers didn't.
He highlighted that businesses have been more resilient since the start of the pandemic, noting that consumer confidence fell to a 2-year low during the first quarter of this year.
What you found with the consumers, it was a continuation of a trend right through 2020. But for businesses, it was an uptick. And maybe they were able to find ways of cushioning that fall off, which would have resulted in that uptick in the last quarter of 2020.
Looking ahead, Mr. Anderson says he expects improved optimism from both businesses and consumers in the next quarter, primarily because of vaccine take-up, which appears to be improving.
The trend is really what is critically important, And if you ask me, I think the more the vaccine policy becomes, or the more the vaccinations are taken up, I believe the less negatives we will find coming out in the economy, and maybe the more acceptance and confidence will begin to pick up again. I think that's what I would read subjectively, not with any data to support.
Andrew Laidley, TVJ News.
The greenback sold for a record high today against the Jamaican dollar, closing the day at $152.96. The Canadian dollar also made gains, ending the day at $128.13. The pound is going for $214.58, while the euro sold for $185.74. The JC Index gained 1,494 points today, while the Junior Market Index lost 16 points. Among the winners were Nutsford Express, Everything Fresh, Sterling Investments, US Dollar Shares, Epley, and Stanley Motor. On the losing side were Berger Paints, Express Catering, Elite Diagnostic, GMMB 7.25% preference shares, and General Accident Insurance Company. And that's the Business Day news from overseas after the break.